Welcome to Conscious and Curly, a place for human experience. I am your host, Angelica, and we have a guest today. I have my friend, my mentor, an amazing dancer. He is developing a social group and an app. And if you live in San Antonio, around San Antonio, you probably know this guy. You've probably seen this guy around. It's none other than Damien.
What's up, y'all? Hello.
Welcome.
Glad to be
Conscious
here.
and Curly.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you for being here.
First guest.
Yes, he is the first.
But many more to come. So
yes.
You guys, come on the podcast.
There are.
Yeah.
I have a list of people, so
yeah.
Keep your phones on you, people. So we are starting traditions here on Conscious and Curly,
nice.
With you being the first.
Yes.
One of them is that whenever I have a guest, we will partake in whatever my guest so chooses. It could be eating, it could be sipping on whatever they want to sip on specifically. Whatever, and Damien chose
Whataburger. Texan, you know what I'm saying?
So Damien is snacking on a burger.
Yeah. Yum.
And I got a cinnamon roll, but I don't have...
You don't have a fork?
No, not on me right now, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I might just do
Cinnamon rolls are just finger food, you know?
Yeah. Damien said it. Yes, so that is one of the traditions. Another tradition here on Conscious and Curly will be that whenever I have a guest, we will play a game as kind of like an icebreaker. Naturally, Conscious and Curly style, this game is a little more conscious. This is a game that is not sponsoring me, but if they would like to, feel free to email me, askconsciousandcurly@gmail.com. But this is a game that I highly recommend you add to your collection. It's a really fun game. Deep, good conversation starter with anybody, family, friends. They have different editions, but it's called We're Not Really Strangers.
I need to get that game.
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
So this game has 3 different levels. I am only going to be playing the first 2 levels, or we only have cards from the first 2 levels for this icebreaker because it gets deep.
Yeah,
I cry every time. Level 3 is intense.
That would be the podcast. That would be it. It's just us crying.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Sorry, I lost my headphones. But we can go ahead and play. So I'm going to, I guess, lay them out here.
All right.
I don't know if this is good video if you're watching on YouTube. And if not, you can go watch on YouTube and see if this is good video for yourself. But yeah, just pick a card. Any card.
Okay.
And I say we're going to do 3.
Okay.
And whatever you pick a card, hand it to me, I'll read it, and we'll both answer.
Okay, cool.
I'll be fair.
All right. This one was calling out to me. This is a level 2 card.
Yes.
All right. So I read it or you read it? You read it. Okay.
What's your mother's name and the most beautiful thing about her?
Oh, that's awesome. That's really nice.
Shout out to mamas out there.
I know. It was just my mom's birthday.
Oh, yeah. Like when?
August 24th.
So, like 5 days ago. Happy belated birthday. And now you'll know when we're recording.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
Okay, so what is your mother's name?
My mother's name is Doreen.
Aww, and the most beautiful thing about her?
Oh, man. I think the most beautiful... There's a few things, but I think, she's a very selfless person. Sometimes to an extreme. And I know I get a lot of that from her, where she's just, very... So, example, she just got back from Peru on, like she's very like she goes on mission trips and like oh man, so she just went to Peru to do like medical work with people there, like just free medical work, you know. So like if they had any sort of ailments or they have growths or.
For how long?
She was there for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, and now she's going to Dallas for 6 weeks to work because she's a nurse. Now she's going to Dallas for 6 weeks to work at. She's like working as part of her church. It's like a church program, I believe.
Okay.
But they're like teaching her holistic medicine, and she's learning. It's like so she's very selfless, and that carries over into a lot of things.
Yeah.
She's always looking out for people. She's always like, you know, let's go take food to the homeless. Let's go, you know, go down to the women's shelter, and like every Christmas she goes to the women's shelter.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So I think that's like the best thing about her is like she was always like that with us when we were kids. Yeah. And the crazy part is when you're a kid, you don't appreciate it,
right.
Which is the terrible part,
Absolutely.
you know. You don't even if you appreciate it a little bit. Yeah, well now you feel bad about it. You're like, man, like I should have treated you a lot better, you know. But she did, you know, we appreciate it to the extent that we could understand. But she was doing so much more, even behind the scenes,
right.
Just to hold the whole family together. And it was just like warrior.
Well,
yeah.
Shout out to her.
Yeah. Shout out to
Shout
moms,
to
Ma
Reed.
Dukes. Yeah.
Yes.
Mom's awesome. Yeah.
And my mom's name is Cindy. And the most beautiful thing about her, I think, would be her I don't know what you would call it. Her tenacity for truth.
Ooh.
Ooh, that also was an alliteration. Shout out.
Tenacity for truth.
But yeah, she just seeks truth always. Wants to speak truth always, and I too get a lot of that from her, and calling things as they are. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And I love that about her. And also growing up that way, she was very honest always. Like when I never knew about the stork. I never heard about some fictional
right.
She
told you
that just
this is
appeared.
how weird it is.
It wasn't like truly vulgar information. Right. Like when I'm 6 years old and ask where babies come from, she would just say your belly. And when you're 6, that's satisfying enough, and you just look away. And then you get a little older, and you're like, wait a minute, so how does it get in the belly? So she would go a little deeper. Okay, well, how does it really get out of the belly as you get older? And so she was just always very honest with everything, and throughout a lot of the bullshit that was in my life, having that as like such a strong foundation, I think is why I turned out pretty okay.
That's awesome.
All the bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay, so
awesome. Alrighty, so this one.
I should read what the level is too. This is level 1, perception. Level 2 is connection. That was what that last.
That's
one
connect.
was.
Okay, cool.
So, do you think I've ever been fired from a job? If so, what for?
Interesting.
We talked about secrets before, remember?
Yeah. I don't know. You know what's so funny about this card? Like I don't think you've been fired from a job just because of the way that you approach things, you know? Or actually no, hold on. Actually, you have been fired from a job, haven't you?
I have.
You have. And why were you fired from a job?
You gotta answer. You gotta answer.
Oh, I have.
Yeah, you're making me
I've definitely been fired from a job.
No. Do you think?
Oh, yes, I do think that you've been fired from a job.
Well, now you know, because I said yes.
Okay, yeah.
But if so, what for?
I think just because you're a person that doesn't really, once again, you don't hide your emotions, right? You're who you are. And I could see people not liking that. I could see people who are just like not, because I struggle from the same thing, where I'm just like, I tell people how I feel, you know. Yeah, I do have like the things I keep to myself, right? You know, I don't want to give everybody everything, but I give people what they what I think they get, right? I give them the truth, right? And honestly, I'm like not apologetic about myself, and I feel like you're the same way. And when I'm like that, it rubs certain people the wrong way.
Right.
The wrong way. So I might be wrong. It might be something else.
I don't know if I gotta. I mean, it didn't say I gotta answer.
It doesn't say you gotta answer.
Will.
Okay.
So I was fired when I was 18 years old, way pre any of this depth. You made it.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I was not in that space. I was working at a bank, and my account was about to overdraft like that morning, and I transferred money from my sister's account to my account and talked to her about it later. But because I did all of that
on the job,
exactly, and really before I had spoken to her, it was not good.
But geez, still nothing.
Fired.
Dang, I didn't know that you could get fired for that, but it makes sense.
My sister even had my back. She even like called them and said, "No, it's okay." I told her she could do that. It was very nice because they didn't want me to lose my job, but it was a lesson I needed to learn. That was a journey.
Wow.
And yeah, I have not told many people that, so that is something that.
There you go.
We were talking about secrets off camera. I don't know if we caught that in the BTS behind the scenes.
BTS.
That will be available on Patreon once I get that going.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that part of the conversation was caught, but yes, we were talking about secrets, and I was saying that I didn't think there was anything that I've ever kept from anybody, and that is absolutely something I've kept from people.
There you go. But that might have been something that you... No, you kept it intentionally? Okay, there you go. Then I was right.
The only reason I'm being honest is because it's my fucking podcast. Okay, last one.
Okay, last one. Let's see. This is also level 1.
Ooh, level 1 perception. What does my... Oh, I need to answer. Sorry. Let me answer this last one about you.
Oh, yeah.
Do I think you've ever been fired from a job? I do.
And why?
I know about the last situation. I don't know if we would consider that a firing.
Oh, true.
Even if not that, I would say I would think that you would be fired for like... Honestly, it would be... I would call it a miscommunication. I feel like there would be something that people would take a certain way, and you didn't mean it that way, and it would have just been like a miscommunication.
That is not exactly wrong,
okay.
But I can't even consider this last thing a firing.
Right,
Yeah, no.
It was weird.
Yeah, that was... But I would say... so I was fired from a job when I don't remember what age I was, but I think I was maybe like 16 or 17. But I got fired from, I worked at the airport. Not cool. At the airport, but like for a company, like a shuttle company that worked at the airport. And so it was so messed up the way that they fired me too, because one day, basically, I was working regular hours, and I was getting up early in the morning for this job, like early. I'm talking like, I was getting up at like 3, 4 in the morning, getting ready, and like being like taking my mom. I think at the time either my mom was taking me there or I was driving there to the site. I think at first I got rides there, but then I started driving myself to the actual site. I was like all into this job. I was like, because I was like the only one that manned the station, and I was like, man, this is a big boy job, Right. So after a while, I stopped, there was like a long period of time where I stopped getting booked for it. Like I stopped, and I was like, what's going on? So I called them and I was like, hey, am I not on the schedule? And they were like, oh yeah. They like didn't want to give me a straight answer. And I was like, what's going on here? Like, I don't understand. And so they were like putting me on hold and a bunch of stuff. And so me, in kid fashion, I was like, I'll put my mom on the phone. And so I was like, yo, mom, talk to these people. Like, because they're not giving me a straight answer. And I don't know I don't know how to talk to these adults,
Right.
And so she got on the phone, and that's when like the CEO of the company got on the phone. He was like all pissed off. He was like, yeah, he didn't show up to a meeting, and And I was like, okay, you guys didn't even tell me about this meeting. They were like, well, it was on the bulletin board, and you're supposed to check the bulletin board. And I was like, oh, so yeah, like literally fired me for not.
I mean, that is
yeah.
accountability.
But I heard they didn't. I heard they didn't last too much longer there anyway. So karma is a biatch. Yeah.
But I was kind of right.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It was a miscommunication. You're right. Exactly.
Okay. So, last but not least, what does my Instagram tell you about me?
Oh. We have to pull it up. You gotta pull it up.
I don't have my.
I'll pull up my phone. Let's see. Let's see. Well, I'm not going to use the podcast Instagram. I'm going to use your Instagram.
Yeah, my own Instagram.
All right. So, immediately in the bio, we see love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness. This tells me, without seeing any of the pictures, it just tells me the frequency you're on, right? Okay. And then your name is Frequency. Yeah. So it tells me you're on a wavelength of just spirituality, healing, things of that, things of that sort. So I'm like, I don't have to see I don't have to see any of the pictures. Okay. But when I look at the pictures, it very much it's you have a bunch of sensual pictures. You have you're posing. You have your kids. You're always smiling in your pictures, really heavy. Mm-hmm. You're doing a bunch of yoga. It feels like you are someone who grew out of the earth. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
it's a very poetic description of my.
You feel very in touch. You very in touch with energy and nature.
Okay.
So yeah, now you can look at mine.
Okay, let's look at Damien.
Oh gosh, mine is the complete opposite.
Oh no, it's not.
It is. It is very much so.
So first of all, when I read your bio, it says, "I love you and I want to see you win." Oh, I immediately think this guy's about community.
Oh.
And then I look and I see a bunch of words. Just words.
Just words.
It's a lot of his Twitter.
Yeah, I just copy paste my Twitter.
To go deeper, I clicked the first one I saw. Don't go looking for your person. That's the universe's job. Go looking for you instead. That's so amazing.
It's so cheesy, but it's true. Yes. It's true.
Another
Don't be
one.
so obsessed with it.
Don't pay very close attention to the things no one wants to do. That's where you'll often find the answer to everything.
Interesting. What did that mean by that?
You mean whatever people don't want to do, the mundane. My mom always says there's
yeah.
That's
true.
In the mundane. Mm-hmm. Nobody likes to be still and be bored, but there's honestly the keys to life are in those moments, sitting with yourself and just being quiet, or doing what nobody else wants to do. Gardening. A lot of people don't like gardening, but truly taking the time, tending the dirt, spending that time growing all of that. Yeah. Okay.
See, sometimes I'll just be writing stuff and I forget about it. I'm like, what the hell do you mean by that, Damien? What the hell does that mean?
And then I'm here to break it down.
Yeah, right. Translate.
Yeah, I would think that you're a person about community and very philosophical. My kind of person.
Aw, thanks.
Awesome. So that was a little taste of We're Not Really Strangers. And now we can get into our Food for Thought segment. And this week's Food for Thought is, did you know that when a person dies, they have 7 minutes of brain activity left?
Whoa, did not know that.
Now, according to Frontier Science News, neuroscientists have recorded the activity of a dying human brain and discovered rhythmic brain and wave patterns around the time of death that are similar to those occurring during dreaming, memory recall, and meditation. And they say that this explains your life flashing before your eyes when you're in near-death experiences.
Whoa.
They say that when you die, those last 7 minutes are a replay of your life.
That's pretty wild.
And I did want to note that this article is from February 22nd, 2022. And that's 2/22/22. I just thought all that was really interesting.
They did that on purpose. They were like, we're timing this one. Make you all existential and shit. No, that's wild.
That's our food for thought. So yeah, now we can get into the topic. And anytime we have a guest, y'all don't know this, but going forward, anytime we have a guest, the topic will really be up to the guests on what they want to talk about, what they feel in their heart, where they are in their moment. And Damien decided, well, I mean, I guess you can talk about what you want to talk about.
Yeah, cool. This is interesting. It's like
how this is playing out.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like that. I think that's it kind of leaves like a little bit of mystery, but when you see the title, But
every time I talk about on my podcast, it's like that breaking the fourth wall thing.
Yeah.
In a movie where they're like,
so meta.
Yo, did you see what just happened over there?
Right.
You're like, guy, you're in the movie. Go act. Okay, sorry.
No. But, okay, so something about me is that I'm big into, like, human connection, friendship, relationships, all types of stuff like that, right? Because I feel like, what else are we meant to do here on Earth than to understand how to interact with each other, understand how to live together, right? So the company that I'm building with, with Ale, with Jacqueline, with the whole Readi team. Shout out to the whole team. Yeah, shout out to, the loves, But the thing that I am very much like the thing that we're trying to build is like something that honestly changes the world, right? Right now we are in a climate of the worst type of...
Let's focus on what the topic was.
Oh, topic
we'll
is...
We'll get to Readi.
I
want to talk about Readi.
Sorry, this was like the lead into that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was setting it up.
Let's do it.
But, so right now we're in a climate of people not really people being very adversarial towards each other, right? People not understanding that we are all really meant to be friends here.
Right.
Now, that also applies to dating, right? If you go through TikTok right now, you'll just see tons of people talking, men are not, shit, or women aren't shit. And it's like, and then I put out a video the other day, and I was like, you guys should just stop dating. Stop. Don't do it anymore. Because it's very clear to me that you don't understand how human interaction works and how human connection works. Because if you're struggling so much with dating, there's levels. There's levels, right? There's the level of getting to know yourself, right? Then getting to know your environment. Then getting to know the people close to you, right? Then understanding how to communicate with those people. Then venturing out, sparking new connections with people, right? Getting to know those people. Right. And then is when I feel like you're able to be in a position, once you've collected enough experiences and enough, information about somebody,
right,
then you can date them.
Right.
But before that, what I want to ask you is, I want to ask you, how do you see, friendship and dating applying to your life? Because I'm of the opinion that you should not date someone unless you are actually friends with them. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people don't agree with that.
No, I know.
A lot of people don't.
I've heard people think that is weird. I've always said from a young age, and I really don't know where I got this from, but I've always said that I wanted to marry my best friend. And that's because I think I realized from a young age the importance of fun in a relationship for me. And to have fun with somebody, you have to like them. Mm-hmm. You can't really have fun with somebody that you don't like, and that isn't really at the foundation of friend. And that's always... Now, I haven't always taken the steps, I think, to truly practice that. I haven't had a friend... Well, I did. But that was more... Anyway, I haven't had become friends with somebody, grown the friendship, and then started dating them.
Okay, gotcha.
At least not in a healthy manner. The one time it happened, he had intentions of dating me the whole time and was like, I got friend zoned. let me just wait it out.
And you were like,
yeah. So it didn't feel like a true friendship was built because there were always ulterior motives.
Right.
And I always come to that situation or that feeling when I think about doing things that way or going that route. I'm like, but I don't want to have ulterior motives. I really want it all to be organic.
Right.
And the organic way that's happened before, and when I think about my best relationships, they were relationships that we just ended up, fun was a priority. I'm not sure what it was, but we truly grew a friendship while in a relationship.
There you go,
we
though.
Learned how we like to play, and playing's important. I don't know. I think playing's important.
It is. It very much is.
It's like sex.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Sex is a form of play.
But again, everybody's relationships are different, and what's important or what they like in relationships is different, which is why I think that I know this is for me. I don't know that everybody feels that way. That's true. I don't think the whole you need to date somebody who's your best friend is a blanket, but I do think a blanket is you need to know how to make and grow friendships.
Yes, and that's what I'm getting at.
Date.
Because the thing is we also have to realize that attraction is part of the equation, right? And you might have a bunch of friends and you're not attracted to a single one of them. Right. So you can't just force yourself to date someone you're not attracted to. Right. Doesn't matter how good friends you are, you know? So that it has to be you could say it's a bit of magic in that, where it's there's a cross section between you being friends and being attracted to someone. That's a magic place that you can then work from, right? It doesn't automatically mean that you have to date somebody in that sense, but I think that can be that's a good foundation. But I feel I can see the look on your face. Yeah, but I think also you can. The little thing keeps falling. I think also you can back into that, right? You can, for example, you can meet someone and you're like, oh man, you're super attracted to them, right? You're not in your brain thinking, okay, well, I have to be friends with this person, right. You're not thinking that, but you understanding how to build a friendship is the important part, right? Right. And of course, everybody's different and however they work out, but go ahead.
I have a devil's advocate question.
Yes.
Or another side question. You, I know people who are poly, and with that, they kind of feel multiple people, everybody has a role that they fit. Right. So with those types of feelings or those types of people, do you think that they feel somebody can be a romantic partner and only romantic, and then I have a friend for this. That's my friend over there. Yeah. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And full disclosure, I identify as poly, so that's why she brought that up. But well, that's not why I brought it up, but the whole idea of a partner being a friend, I don't think is necessary. But what I think is necessary is, like I said, building friendships. Yes. And again, I say this even though for me, a partner being a friend is necessary. Right, yes. But I don't think for everybody that's how it works out. Exactly. But I do think you need to know how to grow and build just any friendship before you can truly build a Because we have this label of friendship, but it's honestly really just understanding how to, communicate with someone effectively. Right. Because that's really what a friendship... at the root of a good friendship is proper communication and vulnerability. Yes, and boundaries. Exactly. So you being able to say, okay, I know the building blocks to how this works. Right. That translates into other things. That translates into all types of relationships. It could be one where it's we are dedicated partners. We only see each other 2 times a year, right? Yes, and I've totally dated men or in my dating time, met guys who didn't have friends or had one friend, and those things are kind of a red flag to me. It's just something you just don't have enough reference experience, right? If Or if you only have one type of friend.
Right.
If you only hang out with girls.
Right. It's like if you went to the dentist and the dentist was like, well, and you have to freaking get like a root canal. It's like, oh well, I've only put braces on people, but let's try it. It's like, whoa, hold on, brother. Like, you need to know how to do all types of things as a dentist, not just braces. Right. I don't even know if dentists put on braces.
No, I think
it's like something else. But whatever. But it's like one of those things. It's like you have to know how all of this works, right? Or at least most of it, and you can learn the rest, right? Yeah. You at least know you need to have the structure of the building before you can start building things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. But that's my thing. It's like I want to, and that's why like Readi is so important to me.
Yeah.
Right.
So now let's get into Readi and what that is.
So Readi Simple is a simple platform that we're building to help people make friends.
Yes.
As basic as that, but more than just a platform, it is a culture that we're trying to spread everywhere, right? Yes. It's a culture that, for me, I learned. So I grew up really shy, right? And it took a lot of like just breaking through layers of insecurity and not understanding like that I have a place in the world. And once I got to that point, I was like, oh man, there's so many other people out here like me who were, exactly. And it's like, man, we think we're so awkward, but you get to know the people who you think are super cool or super have it together, they're awkward as fuck. Right. Like, they're the most awkward people. Right. And you're like, damn, well, it builds a sense of confidence and you realize, we're all the same.
Again, that's why I have this podcast.
Yes.
To normalize this conversation so people can realize that hopefully earlier on, or at least have the conversations themselves.
Exactly.
And get comfy with these conversations. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's the goal. It's like, I just want to get people to the point where they realize that truly you can be friends with almost anyone.
Exactly. I just want to give a little, asterisk to how Damien and I actually met, which is through Tinder.
Yeah? Was it Tinder or Bumble? I think it was Bumble.
Whatever.
I don't know. Dating app. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, dating app veteran over here. I got my battle scars. Okay.
Everybody does. All the millennials watching have them.
Yeah.
Going through it. But we actually went on a date and had a good time. It was a lot of fun, but both just weren't attracted to each other romantically. And he hit me up the next day and was like, hey, I really had a great time, but I really just see you more as a friend and I would love to hang out as a friend. And I was like, I feel the same way.
Yeah. And it's been great. Yeah.
So we've been friends ever since. And this was years ago.
Awesome. Yeah. How long was that? It was like...
Let's do the math.
It's got to be like 2 or 3 years pre-pandemic, right?
Pre-pandemic.
So what, 2017?
Like 5 years ago.
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years.
5-ish, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So we say that to say, like you said, you can make friends anywhere, doing anything.
I think it's important. It's an important distinction, though, when it's like you have to have your head on straight, right? Because I think what you're saying too is like you would love to make those friends with people, but sometimes the motives are not always clear, right? It's not right. It's like okay, well, like, hey, let's be friends, but then it's like, oh, but now you're telling me you want to marry me and you want me to have your children. It's like that, like, women tell me this all the time.
Yeah, you're really looking for nobody. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm not really looking for anything either.
Yeah, and it's like,
what are we?
But that's like being afraid.
Yes.
That's
fear. Vulnerability.
It is.
It's that's not being able to communicate.
Yes.
Which is what we're saying at the end of the day. But it all comes down to like healing yourself, like you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
So Readi is focused on teaming people up with friends. Yes.
So Readi we are in the experience industry. I'm thinking now, like that is what I've been like constantly going into, because now people are looking for different types of experiences than what they've been given, right? Absolutely. We're looking for different experiences with school, right? We're like, we can do school online. We can do school as a boot camp instead of paying for 4 years of college that with a degree that I can't use.
They're trying a whole bunch of different types of, I'm a mom, so a whole bunch of different types of elementary schools.
There you
charter
go.
schools that aren't private.
Right.
Smaller classes. Yeah, they're trying all
People
of that.
can work remotely now.
Right.
You know, we don't have to work in an office.
So what kind of experiences?
So we want to change the experience that people have had of making friends, right? Because, well, there's two elements to this. I think we've been fed a lot of narratives about friendship where it's like, okay, well, one of these is like men and women can't be friends.
Yes, I hate that narrative.
So stupid.
I've always
But
hated that narrative.
it's a narrative that a lot of people believe,
I
right?
know.
There's also the narrative of like, you know, well, I don't want to get into politics, but it's like you can't be like friends with somebody from a different party affiliation, you know?
Yeah. Like people are fascinated with George Bush and Michelle Obama's friendship.
Right. And they're like,
how? It crosses both of those lines.
Yeah.
A man and a woman and
exactly. And it's like, so there's examples of it working in different senses, and it's like I want to change people's minds on friendship by giving them the experience of getting together in a group of people who might.
Is it like anonymous?
It is anonymous at first.
Okay.
Right? So the way that it's going to work is simply that we'll give people a set of different things to do, right? Say that there's 3 events happening today. One of them is, there's a meetup at a park or a meetup at a local restaurant, right? Mm-hmm. Something that is like geared towards this person. We're going to really stick to partnered locations because that helps keep our community safe as well, right? It's like we can send you to this restaurant or to this museum because we partnered with them and we know you're going to be, safe.
Yeah. So people just go to whatever they're interested in.
Basically. So you'll have that interest. You'll say, okay, I want to do that. You'll hop into a lobby of other people who have something in common with you, right? And honestly, it'll just put you in a group with people, so you don't have to figure that part out.
Okay.
It's just like who's ever in this group, we're going. It's 5 to 10 people in each group.
Okay.
We're going to this museum. There's a timer at the top, and when it hits the timer, it pulls up a little map, and you go.
Oh, lovely.
You just go, and then at the end, after the experience is done, almost like how Uber and DoorDash work, right? You can give your rating of the experience.
Yes.
You can, and then and only then can you add people as friends.
The people who went with you.
Right. Because the thing is, we have the ability now to just search up anybody we want, and it's like, oh, I'm just gonna follow this person, and you could follow them for like months at a time and never interact.
Or people make so many prejudgments on people and may not even go because they don't like how some people look. They feel like that group doesn't really mesh with them.
Exactly.
That is so clever.
So in that lobby, what we're doing is we're gonna have like little avatars for people, so they can we're gonna get it to the point where it's like really dynamic. I know, right? Exactly. It's like we don't want to say that, but it's like we're trying to bridge the digital world in IRL, right? We're trying to bridge that to the point where people. They step out of their zone.
I feel a way that was just said on my show right now, but that's okay.
IRL. No. Dead.
You're funny. Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, that's what. But I appreciate you asking the anonymous question because there are going to be people who are like, oh gosh, people are going to judge me because of my pictures or or how I look or whatever. And we're going to be more focused on, hey, that everyone in this lobby
is into that.
They're into this experience, and they share something behind the scenes that they might be, based on the interest that you put into your profile, you might be into anime, or you might be into reading books, or you're into knitting, or, you're a single mom, right? Those are very key indicators that are going to grow over time, right? We might have like a set number at first, but like over time, we're going to get more and more data on people, and it's going to help their experience to be even better to find people that they resonate with.
Exactly. It's kind of like it reminds me of like you're taking it back to the basics. Like you're forcing people to be their inner child, and you're like, no. You like playing on the swing, right?
Yeah.
John likes playing on the swing
Playing
too.
the sandbox,
Y'all
man.
are just going to play, because when we're kids, that's all that matters, is you like the same thing. You like Spider-Man? Oh my gosh, I like like Spider-Man.
Exactly.
I don't care what house you live in. I don't care what your family's like, what you look like. We both like the same thing. That's so great.
Yeah, that's the whole mission. Is
That's
like,
awesome.
and we think that honestly, that is the key to changing the culture that we exist in right now, where they don't trust each other, right?
Absolutely.
People do not trust each other.
Oh my gosh.
And they have a lot of reason not to.
Can I give a little story time?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Grandma.
It's also going to say a little bit about, I don't know, the shit show that is my life. So, my son's first day of school, he was with his father, and I was trying to hurry up and get to the school to take pictures of him on his first day, mom stuff. And I packed up my youngest in the car. I put my purse in the car with my keys and my purse. Now, my key fob on my car had been glitching before this, to where it would just lock on its own.
Oh.
It's like the button smashed. I don't know. It's weird. Or the battery's I'm not sure. So, it's in my purse. I lock my son in his car seat. I close the door. I hear burp, burp, my little car horn. I'm like, no, no, no. I run around, go to my driver's side. I'm trying to unlock it, and I can't unlock my door.
No.
And my keys are in my purse.
No.
In the car. I'm freaking out. I'm going to the neighbors. The kids are like watering something. I ask them if they can get their parents. Their parents are sleeping because I just need a phone so I can call somebody.
Yeah.
And I am just freaking out, not knowing what to do. I went to my neighbors across the street. Nobody answers. It's really early. It's like 7 in the morning. What else? Anyway, I won't say what upset me. So I see one of my other neighbors right across the street coming out to go to her car. And I'm like, excuse me, ma'am. And she's like, jumped. She said, yeah. I said, can I use your phone? I live right here, and I locked my keys in my car. She's like, oh yeah, I have seen you before. I'm so sorry.
Thought you was gonna rob me. Thought you was gonna stab me in the back.
You never know with people these days. I'm like, bitch.
Right. You see me all the time.
My neighborhood, first of all, is only like 3 streets. It's a small little neighborhood.
Damn.
I live right across the street. I've seen her before.
Right.
I know she's seen me with my kid. It was very frustrating, but it's very much that we don't know how to talk to strangers.
Exactly. We feel like everyone is out to get us.
Even though she's seen me, I could still be killing her or robbing
right.
her. Which I know that technically is true, and people have proven that. But that doesn't, I think our human nature to connect is deeper than that.
Absolutely.
And the odds of that happening are less than what would really happen.
Absolutely.
I think.
But also, like, there's like, I don't know what law of nature this is, but the thing that you pay attention to the most, and the thing that you see the most, and the people that you hang around the most, and the experiences that you have the most, that's your world you view. That's how you see the world.
Perspective is reality.
That's it. Exactly. So imagine if all you're seeing on the news and TikTok and Instagram is this: people hate each other, right? But
or all the horrible things that happen from strangers.
Right. Exactly. Now imagine we introduce something like this to your week, and you're like, okay, I'm going to take the leap. These people seem like they figured out where I'm going to go. They figured out who I'm going to hang out with. They figured out that, they're going to keep me relatively safer than I would be going and hanging out with random people.
Right.
I'm going to try this thing.
Right.
You try it, you have
good experience.
You have a good experience, right? You have an experience that, even if it's not perfect, right? But you have an experience that tells you, oh yeah, these random people who I would have never met, I actually have something in common with them, or I like them in some way, right? Or I relate to them in some way, right? Even if it's just that, your worldview now is changing.
Absolutely.
And the more you do it, imagine that, like, for every person, it's going to spread like wildfire.
Exactly.
And that's what I want to see. I just want to see people who see, like, when I walk into a room, I walk in and if I go to a networking event, right, or a party or whatever, I assume I'm going to walk out of there with like 3 or 4 friends. Yeah. I'm going to walk out with some numbers. I'm going to walk out with some maybe business cards. I'm going to walk out having another hangout to go to.
Yeah.
I walk in there with that mindset. I'm like, oh yeah, I got some friends here that I don't know yet.
Right.
So that's what, like, I would love people to see that too.
I need to start incorporating that into when I walk into places.
Yeah.
I do not think that way. It sometimes happens, not that deep. I would love to have a place to hang out with after a situation.
Right, exactly. You're like, damn,
but
you know?
I usually just think, like, nobody cares about me. Nobody's watching me. Get out of your head, Angelica.
And if you can change that one thought, you'll see
it
change around you. Yeah.
Oh,
you're like,
I'm glad nobody's watching.
You're like, I don't want to walk out with like 50
like
friends, okay? Y'all some friends, you know?
I know.
Yeah. But
yeah, that's a great way to think about it.
Yeah.
I love that. Awesome. Yeah, anything else you want to talk about as far as like making friends?
Yeah.
And the importance of that? Yeah. Tell me.
I would say like there was something that Jacqueline, my co-founder for Readi, sent me earlier, and it was this guy just talking about you have to make the first move in life, right? And whether that's be the first person to, you know, call out a situation that's bad, right? Or be the first person to walk up to that person you think is attractive and, you know, just talk to them, just say hi, right? Or the first person to, you know, in your family to maybe, you know, build a business, right?
Or the first one to say sorry.
Yeah, or the first one to say sorry. There you go. Like, make the first move.
Right.
Like, that's where you build a definition of who you are, right? You define yourself. Right? More so than if you just let things happen to you.
Yes, it's more of like setting those boundaries.
Yes.
The universe sees what you move on, what you act on, what you speak on, and aligns with you those things.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I would say when it comes to friendship, my advice for anybody would really just be make that first move. You know, like go do the thing that you feel like is going to be uncomfortable. You're hanging out with your friends, right? Say you go somewhere and you already have friends. You're hanging out with your friends, but you see somebody across the way and they just seem interesting. Go say hi to them. Just walk up and say, hey, you seem kind of cool, you know? What's your name?
Yeah.
They're going to be like, either they're going to be like, get away from me, which
Never happens.
what happens to you if that happens? Right, it never happens, first of all. But like, what happens to you if that happens? You say, oh, okay, fine. And you just go back to whatever you were doing, you know?
Right. Or you laugh at how ridiculous that person's acting.
Don't escalate, because that's not the thing to do. You know, I know some of y'all, the dark triads out here, you're like, all right, cool, time to roast you. And it's like, you're the one that walked up to this person. Get the hell out of the way, you know? But if that happens, right? Like if you see that, you just brush them off. But what's most likely going to happen is this person's going to be like, I'm about to make a friend.
Right.
The person who you walked up, they're going to be, oh my gosh, I'm about to make a connection with someone. I'm about to be introduced into somebody else's world. Absolutely. The events of the next week, the next month, next year could be affected by right now.
Yes.
You know? Some people are thinking that on a subconscious level.
Right.
They don't even realize it, but they're excited to meet new people too.
Yes.
They're excited to be walked up to and talked to.
Yes.
You know, if you do it in a respectful way, right? And if it's like very clear that you're not like just being a creep, right?
I
just
always start off with a compliment or
Yeah.
just noticing something about
nice.
somebody. Women specifically, I've heard a lot in my life that I'm intimidating. And so people don't say anything to me or come up to me, and I'm very well aware of this or the air that I give off.
I think it's because you're tall.
Yes.
People are scared to talk.
I think it's because I'm tall, and I think it's because I smile.
Oh
There's
yeah, they're like
a confidence that they're just like, that's different.
That's interesting.
Like, I think it's also like they feel like I got everything. She don't need to talk to me, or she. I don't know.
Don't do that to yourself.
What I do is I just take advantage of every moment. Like any time I'm with or within speaking distance of specifically a woman, I'm always letting her know something I notice. Like, oh my gosh, I love that hair color.
That's
or
super cool.
I love those shoes. Or anything. You have such a beautiful smile.
You know, subconsciously, I think I learned that from women.
Just killing it with her kids, I let her know. Or struggling with her kids, like, you go, Mom, I know what that's like. And just connecting with somebody in some way. And I haven't had a friendship come from that, unfortunately.
Really?
I'm not the best at making friends. No.
Huh.
People don't really...
Where do you
What
drop the
my
ball there? You
problem
might not be
is-
closing. you might not be.
I'm not... I don't think
Yeah.
I'm really a closer, but I think also I have met adult friends, and it's a matter of, like, getting together outside of that meeting. Like, they'll meet me out somewhere, and then when we exchange numbers, we agree that we like each other, and it's so hard to find friends here and at this age, blah, blah, blah. And then we go, and I hit them up, and I'm like, hey, I'm doing this. You want to come? And I understand life, and I know people are busy. And I will ask probably 2 or 3 more times, depending on how much I really enjoyed that first encounter. But if you can't make it those times, I'm not going to reach out. And then they never reach out to me.
Very interesting.
That's happened to me.
Yeah.
That's the closest I've gotten to friends.
You know,
I have friends.
You're like, I have friends.
I got it clear.
Right.
But the friends I have are people I've had forever.
Yeah, you hold on to your friendships.
I've had them
That's
for
good.
a long time.
Yeah.
Which is good. But I would love to make new... I met some really... Girls, if you're watching and you've met me out and we agreed that we liked each other and we exchanged numbers, hit me up.
She calling you out.
It's not like a threat. Don't make it that thing. It's like I just would like to hang out and don't be afraid.
Knife hand. No,
What
it's
am
good.
I saying?
No, that is, so there was something that we thought of when building the platform. We were like, how do we get people to like repeatedly go out?
Right, you
And
can't.
You can.
Okay.
You can teach people how to do anything. You can literally teach people how to do anything. It has to be a habit building thing. But it's easier to do with like a platform and a lot of people, right? So what we're doing is like building a gamification system in it. The first element of that will be we're giving people discounts for hanging out at these partner locations. So if you meet up in a group, you get a discount.
Continuous discounts.
Yeah,
That's
continuous.
clever.
Exactly. So eventually we're gonna make it.
That.
You should have.
I should have came with a discount. If you
brought your coupons.
Come back to George's Keep, and I'll give you 50% off.
There
your
you
next
go.
drink.
There you go. That's it right there. But yeah,
That's funny.
it is tough.
That
though.
is clever.
It is tough.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, and life happens. I get
does.
it. I'm a single mom with 2 kids. I do not get the time to hang out.
There
Which
you
is
go.
also why I'm kind of frustrated that the few times I do, like, you can't make the few times. But I digress.
Yeah.
I understand life is busy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's also a thing. But yeah, that's my problem.
Yeah. I think as long as people start losing that fear, because the fear is what keeps people from doing it, right? They're like, it's not going to work out, you know, or this is going to be awkward this time, or
we're just so afraid to have even a bad experience.
Right.
We're
Just
so
have a bad
afraid to
experience.
even just go out and it's not a good time.
Yeah.
What if I go and it's shitty?
So? Did you die?
You probably learned something from it.
Yeah.
You probably learned, oh, I'm going to look out for these things. If they have this, I'm never going. Or whatever.
That's the thing they don't tell you.
You learn something new about a new person.
You have to have those points if you're going to get better at anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, even friendship.
Right.
You have to have bad friends to know how good your good friends are.
Yes. Even sex. I don't mean for sex to always come up.
But it's your podcast.
It just also always relates.
Yeah.
Like, for sure, people are afraid to have bad sexual experiences.
Right. It's like, so you're gonna die? No.
Right.
You had sex.
I mean, a bad one. You could die.
No.
There's people who died by sex.
No.
From sex, during sex.
Okay. Yeah.
I've recently.
Oh God.
Anyway.
Morbid.
It was a little morbid.
That's funny though.
Yeah. Anyway.
Best way to die. Dead.
But you won't die from having bad experiences, at least not with friends.
There you go.
Or trying to make friends. So, that was good. Thank you for sharing Readi with us.
Absolutely.
You guys be sure to check it out. I will keep you posted if you follow me on Instagram, at least about when it will be dropping and what is going on with Readi. And yeah, we can get into our final 2 segments, which is Anonymously Kinky and questions. And unfortunately, I don't have any of those. Nobody wrote in anything this week.
Send in some, guys.
I'm pretty sad. I know. Somebody had mentioned to me that most of my listeners really know me, and so they're scared to send in questions because they know me or because I know them. But don't be scared, you guys.
Don't be scared.
Feel free to ask me anything.
You know what you should do? One of those NGL links.
No, I don't like it.
Who said no? That's not.
I don't. I mean, that is good for like anonymous. They're truly anonymous.
It's truly anonymous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Follow me on
NGL
Instagram. I may be throwing down what is it? Throwing out.
Not gonna lie, Not gonna lie.
I
haven't used it yet, but because I'm like,
I see people do it. Though.
Yeah, I see people.
And they seem to be getting a lot of questions.
Y'all be getting rowdy with those.
So maybe when I drop it, that anonymous NGL, you guys will submit questions. I really hope so. And yeah, do you want to let them know where they can find you, Damien?
Yeah. So I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram as TheMacadamien. That's the Macadamian on Twitter and Instagram. I'm also on LinkedIn if you want to follow me on LinkedIn. And then Readi's page is GETREADI on Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah, so still in the development phase. We're doing community building. We're actually talking right now about doing some more like bigger style meetups to get more people, more people under our wings so we can help them, make friends better. But yeah, it's very much in the development phase. So
perfect.
Yeah.
Well, we can't wait when it all rolls out.
Heck yeah.
And we wish you the best, Damien.
Thank
you guys so much for tuning in to another episode. You can email any of your questions to askconsciousandcurly, all spelled out, at gmail.com. Remember to like, subscribe, share anything you heard that moved you, anything that you just liked, or you just want to share me because you like me. Feel free to do that. Yeah, I guess that's it. Until next time, I hope you guys stay safe out there. Peace.
Bye.